the boy I was looking for. Now, tell me, Randall, what's that over there?
The naughty box?
Yes, Randall. And what do I like to see that box filled with?
Ne'er-do-wells and miscreants?
Ne'er-do-wells and miscreants. And what do you see in there now?
Nothing.
Bingo! It's empty! Just like the snitch reports you've been handing me all week. I trust you have something a little more satisfying for me today.
Frittata!
You know, it's funny, we're gonna be talking about snitching today, and you guys are going to agree with me, and yet in spite of that, you're still snitching me out to ICE. I would know, because the last officer that was trying to arrest me told me he wishes I get 100K. And, hold on one second. Baby, stop crying. It's alright. I'll be back. This chain link fence can't keep us apart. Now, cry good for the camera, please. Women. Anyways, like I said, 100K for the grand face reveal with my silver play button. And you better hope YouTube sends the silver play button, but with how much I throw my own people under the bus, I wouldn't be surprised if they're keeping a close eye on me. Nonetheless, whatever you guys are doing is breaking records on my channel with the subscriber count skyrocketing and views. You should get the Hispanic stereotype you want on screen pretty soon, so hit subscribe. Anyways, back to snitching. Okay, you see, the thing about Nintendo fanboys that amazes me is that in spite of the fact that Nintendo has sold over 3.5 million Switch 2s, they still feel obligated to protect Nintendo's investments and their finances and to prioritize the well-being of the corporation.
Okay, I'll tell you why I want to destroy Arasaka, but I'll only tell you once. Want to hear it?
It's strange to see that there is even such a thing as consumers who care about the well-being of a corporation. But that's where Nintendo fanboys are on a whole other level. These guys openly advocate for a world where consumers must submit to the corporation and accept all terms and never go against it. Because if you do, then Nintendo might not deliver me my Mario number 1000. We're talking about mentally stunted people. Because if there's one thing you ever notice about, Nintendo guys, it's that they've never grown up. They're still stuck in the past, as if the GameCube just came out yesterday. So they've developed a tendency to start snitching. Nintendo guys are that kid in class that always reminded the teacher that there was homework right before the bell would ring, and was always confronted in the bathroom stalls, but never learned his lesson. We're talking about a group of dudes who would legitimately take a bullet for Nintendo. Or in their case, ink, because Nintendo's too scared to use bullets in their games. You see, a few weeks back, I updated you guys on a story that I had strong suspicion was entirely made up by a Nintendo fanboy that was trying to prevent people from modding their Switch 2s because, I don't know, Nintendo fanboys are highly against you being able to do whatever the hell you want with your Switch 2. They want you to play it as Nintendo intended. So they fabricated this entire story about how an attempt to use the MIG switch resulted in their Nintendo Switch 2 being bricked. And then they took it a step further and lied about how Nintendo programmed this thing to detect electrical impulses in specific wattage percentages. And that is how it would know if you were trying to hack it, which for anybody out there that knows a thing or two about tech or engineering or programming would know that is complete bullshit. But Nintendo fanboys ate it up. They actually believed it was true, and it gave them a false sense of hope that PC gamers would not be able to emulate their games within 12 months. And then we come to find out that it's a complete lie with this latest update that shows modders and hackers are finally getting further with the MIG switch, as we can see here.
We are the pirates, so don't do anything. We just stay at home and lie around.
Oh no! It hasn't taken long at all, which is The best part, I love this. Not even within 10 days, this device has gone from quote-unquote unhackable to someone pulling off a ROP chain exploit within days of its release and having the MIG switch not be playable to now having games boot off of it. And the Nintendrons are losing their minds. Why are they like this? I don't know. I wish I could understand them. I wish I could know what it's like to fight so vehemently in favor of a corporation. I just want to know the motive behind it, because anybody who owns a Switch 2 should look at this and think to themselves, I can actually do more than just play and use my Switch 2 as Nintendo demands I do? To me, it's insane that tools are being created by modders and hackers that Nintendo refuses to make themselves that the average Switch 2 owner could really benefit off of, and that's what the MIG Switch is. But instead of using such device to benefit themselves, Nintendo guys turn to the FBI to report it. I'm not even kidding you. FBI! Police Federal! And Nintendo of America!
Oh, won't somebody please think of the corporation?
357 likes! I know people tell me, oh, it's just social media, it doesn't mean anything, but when 300 plus people like it, you know that means that there is a decent chunk of the Nintendo community that's backing this guy up and believes the FBI should indeed arrest these people. It's amazing to me that Nintendo can do something like make a limited run of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, creating artificial scarcity, and they won't hold a single problem with that. But if you make a device like this, well, that's crossing the line. So much so that the feds need to get involved, and they're gonna make sure that happens. What's more is the creators of the Big Switch aren't even American, so what the hell is the FBI going to do? Go get them at Nintendo.
Smite them!
These are the same guys, by the way, mind you, same group that when Power World came out, they were tagging Nintendo, claiming plagiarism and telling Nintendo to sue them, and guess what? As a result, Nintendo actually did that. And now because of these angry Nintendo fanboys, Power World had to lose a game mechanic because Nintendo was abusing its patenting laws, and it was all encouraged by Nintendo guys. These guys are not your friends. Nintendo guys are bad for gaming. They are bad for the industry. They are bad for consumer rights. It's why I pick on them so hard and why I'm mean and ruthless, because these guys want to take away your rights to do whatever the hell you want with your purchase, or to make games that are just too similar to what Nintendo does. They only want Nintendo to have the right. These guys go to bed dreaming of a monopoly Nintendo could have. That's what they want. At Nintendo of America, at Nintendo Brazil, at Nintendo Latam, at the true Bowser.
You can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he can.
They're for real. Oh my god. Somebody's gotta tell these guys that the MIG Switch creators are Russian, so what the hell is Nintendo of Brazil gonna do? And then he tags Nintendo of Latin America? Why does he think these people can do anything about Russian hackers? Not even our own government could do anything about Russian hackers. But the best one is that he tags Doug Bowser. Here's the best part. He'll tag someone like Doug Bowser who'll just turn around and be like, oh gee, that's interesting. Anyway, Mario Kart's now $100. Thanks for letting us know. That's the best way we can combat this, is to charge you guys more. Sorry, there's just no other way. I'm pretty sure you, the consumer, wouldn't mind covering the charge for our legal fees, right? It doesn't help that Doug Bowser looks a lot like Larry Fink and they share a very similar mentality now, does it? And you know, the best part is those Nintendo fanboys will respond by saying, "Of course, Doug, just doing my part. Glad to pay more. Glad to report hackers and modders. Please don't reward me. Just charge me more. It's a privilege to pay more." At Nintendo of America, at Nintendo Co. Ltd, at Sora Sakurai, at the True Bowser, at Reggie, at Trin, at Pokemon, at Splatoon Japan. They tagged Reggie Fils-Aimé. Who's gonna break it to this Nintendo guy that the chances are Reggie himself purchased a MIG switch just to use on his own device? Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna be the one to break the bad news? You don't know Reggie.
Do you really need to start modding a console day one to enjoy it?
Shut up, you fucking bitch. If somebody paid $500, they can do whatever the hell they want with their device. Hell, they can even throw it from a second-story floor if they want. As Anton Chigurh would say,
What business is it of yours?
I don't know any other console fanboy that makes it their business to know what others are doing with their devices more than Nintendo guys. Got them tagging the goddamn FBI, trying to put an end to this, and their reasoning is, no, you should enjoy it just as is, out of the box. Bruh, you gotta buy grips that Nintendo still refuses to build into their console just for basic comfort. Out of the box, this is a very limited device with very few options. And if people want to create options to get the most out of it, that is their right. And you can't sit there crying like a baby. Just play your Switch and stop looking over the fence. If people already have games preloaded onto their MIG Switch and they want to use it on the Switch too to make life a lot more convenient and easy, then why not? Personally, I think this is a better solution than game key cards, which are fake physical cartridges. If you want a way to actually store your physical cards into one device and then be able to access them all without inserting and ejecting the cards 24/7, but also retain your actual game all entirely on a cart, this is really neat. It bypasses Nintendo's shitty system that they gave third-party devs where you don't actually own the cards and there is no game on them, because that's the whole point of game key cards. They're supposed to give you the benefit of digital while also seeming like a physical card. Just buy the MIG switch and have legitimate actual physical backups of your games without relying on Nintendo's servers. Of course though, with how many games don't actually have the entire game on the carts with the Switch 2, this device is going to start losing its purpose bit by bit with third-party releases. But if you want to back all your physical first-party games, this thing's pretty neat, and yet these Nintendo guys just don't appreciate that. They want you to use the device as intended, but others may not, and they just can't seem to wrap their heads around it and just let it exist. No, they want it shut down for the betterment of the company. If you are a staunch supporter of physical media and preservation, this device is excellent for you. Why would you be against it?
Fuck off with your pirate bullshit, criminals!
He doesn't even know that the creators of the MIG Switch do not encourage people to use this device for piracy, but even then, based. What is wrong with that? When you buy from Nintendo, you don't actually own. So what is there that you are stealing exactly? A hall pass to browse the Switch library? I seriously question, what does Nintendo do for you that warrants this type of defense? All they ever do is take advantage of you. All they ever do is think less of you and expect more money. And instead of being like, you know what, screw Nintendo, I'm gonna go get a MIG switch, they say, ban it, burn it to the ground, lock those people up. At this point, I don't know what's gonna take to convince you that Nintendo guys are the reason we can't have nice things. They are bad for gaming, they are bad for consumer freedoms and rights, they are what stands in the way between you and actual video game ownership and corporate greed. If Nintendo guys were gone, the gaming world would be a better place. I'm not even kidding. Some will cut this out of context and be like, look at him, he doesn't want us to exist. And I'll be like, that is correct. Go away. Why on God's green earth would we want a bunch of snitches out here ruining the fun? Is Mario Kart World really so boring that this is where all your attention and time goes? Go play the game you waited 12 years for and shut the fuck up. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. With that being said, on the road to 100K, and I'll see you in the next video.
Fritongo sucks ass.